how would it be possible to make a train float? By using super powerful magnets.
One of the most fantastic technologies that could revolutionize everything is super magnets.
Magnetic levitation is a technology that's been experimented with for years. But new advances mean that the era of floating high-speed trains could be coming soon.
This is the system of the future. It's 300 miles per hour. It's emissions-free. No foreign oil. It's green, it's fast, it's comfortable, and it's kind of sexy.
Maglev can immediately get you a step beyond where the current state-of-the-art system is, and you've got a new starting point to evolve a new technology.
Most magnetically levitating, or maglev trains, use electromagnetic suspension. The bottom of the train wraps around the track, and magnets embedded in the train pull up toward the rail, lifting the train.
One of the exciting things about maglev is because it floats on a cushion of air, it's contact-free.
This means it can hit high speeds with extreme efficiency. Maglev uses about half the energy per passenger of a commercial plane. A few maglev trains are already in service, and they're breaking records. So what if trains didn't need to be on land? And what if they didn't need any tracks at all?
The solution is not the train, it's solving the cost of the track. So our attitude was, well, what if you could take the railroad and the train apart and put it back together a little bit different?
Robert Pulliam's tubular rails are trains that run through a series of elevated O-rings instead of on a track. What Pulliam proposes is to take an old idea and turn it inside out, literally.
We've put the steel wheel inside the rings. We've put the rail on the car itself, so it essentially carries it along with it.
Each ring will have a motor that drives a set of steel rollers, and these rollers will fit into grooves built into the train itself, passing the train from one ring to the next. The train is secured in place by 3 rings at all times, and its body will be reinforced so that it can never slip or break.
Once the vehicle is in the rings, it really cannot escape. It's much like holding a pencil in your fist and holding it tight. There's only 2 ways that pencil can move. You need more horsepower during the acceleration phase, but when you're at a constant speed, it really doesn't take that much energy to keep the vehicle moving. It's really the momentum.
Pulliam's design dramatically cuts the highest construction costs, the rails themselves. And tubular rails can be stacked on top of each other, so it's not just a space saver. It can be built with no interruption to any existing infrastructure. That means no more collisions with cars on the road or even other tubular rails.
You operate in the airspace rather than on the ground space.
Pulliam sees his tubular rail system fitting within a city and also connecting major metropolises. At its top speed, it could hit 150 miles per hour.
The 2 markets we feel that have applications are a high-speed market, something that you would have a vehicle running at, say, 150 miles an hour. The other market is the commuter-type rail system.
And significantly, the technology for the tubular trains of tomorrow is here today.
The key thing is changing the orientation between the rail and the wheel. All of the components exist.
According to Pulliam, it's not just changing the orientation of the track, it's about changing the way we think about trains. We won't just be jumping through hoops, we'll be racing through them at lightning speeds.
Believe it or not, if you want to go to China and you could somehow drill a hole through the center of the earth, it would only take 42 minutes and 12 seconds for a one-way trip to China. This is sure faster than a slow boat to China.
Assuming you could drill a hole like that and suck the air out of it so there was no resistance, the force of gravity would essentially let you free fall all the way down to the center of the earth.
If you get into this gravity train and you hit the down button, basically you're in free fall. As you get toward the center of the Earth, you accelerate to up to 18,000 miles per hour.
And then, once you pass through the Earth's core, you'd start to gradually slow down, with gravity acting as a natural braking system as you glide to your destination.
The path is symmetric. As you accelerate, going to the center of the Earth, then you decelerate on the other side of the Earth.
Total travel time, 42 minutes and 12 seconds. Sounds pretty good, right? So why aren't we building one?
There are two basic hurdles to building the gravity train. First is you have to build a frictionless tube, and you have to evacuate all the air. You don't want to ride on a cushion of air, because then you can only go about 120 miles per hour, and you want to go up to 18,000 miles per hour. But the second problem is perhaps the greatest, and that is as you drill toward the center of the Earth, it gets enormously hot. In fact, at the center of the Earth, it's about 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit. So you would have to have enormous construction materials to keep the elevator tube from melting, from being crushed by the enormous pressures down there. This is an engineering problem that we have simply not been able to solve.
So you might not be crossing the planet by gravity train anytime soon. But it turns out you wouldn't have to go through the center of the world to enjoy the benefits of gravity.
Perhaps in the future, if we drill at an angle, at a very shallow angle, rather than to the core of the Earth, then perhaps we won't encounter such enormous pressures and temperatures, and then we might be able to evacuate this tube to create a frictionless gravity elevator, a gravity train, that'll take you anywhere on one side of the Earth in 42 minutes.
A shallower angle would mean you'd get less direct tug from gravity. But then again, your total travel distance would be less. The physics are such that no matter what angle you took, your travel time would be exactly the same.
The longer the track, the faster you move, and the two effects just balance each other out exactly. And that's why it only takes 42 minutes, 12 seconds to go anywhere on the surface of the Earth. This could revolutionize travel on the Earth.